Welcome back, everyone, to Gemstone Kingdom, the journey where we uncover the hidden stories, forgotten myths, and scientific mysteries behind the world's most extraordinary stones. Today's episode will take you into one of the strangest, most elusive realms in all of gemology, a place where minerals don't just sparkle, they breathe. These are the top 10 stones that control the wind. The crystals once believed to summon storms, calm tempests, and even carry messages between heaven and earth. And yes, the stone ranked number 1 on this list is so rare, so powerful in legend and market value, that its price per gram can now surpass $1,500, higher than many diamonds. Throughout history, shamans, sailors, and scientists alike have all whispered the same question: can a stone truly move the air itself, or are we the ones being moved by it? From the frozen shore of Canada, where the northern wind sleeps inside glowing blue crystals, to the red deserts of Namibia, where a single gem seems to pulse with the heart of a storm, what you're about to see will challenge how you think about earth, air, and energy. Each of these 10 gemstones tells a different story. Some hum before thunder, some glow only when storms approach, and one, the most mysterious of all, was born from the impact of a cosmic wind that melted the earth itself. Miss it, and you might overlook the most underestimated investment stone of the decade. If this is your first time here, welcome to Gemstone Kingdom, where history meets mystery beneath every carat. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications, because what we're building here isn't just a channel. It's a journey through time, science, and the soul of the earth itself. And if, at any moment, you feel that strange spark, that sense that this might be the beginning of something new, leave a comment below saying, "I like this video," so I'll know you're right here with me on this journey of discovery. Stay until the very end, because the gemstone that ranks number 1 might already be sitting quietly in your collection, waiting for you to realize it's not just a mineral, but a piece of the wind made solid. And if you're busy right now, but don't want to miss this, save this video for later, because what you're about to experience isn't just another ranking. It's an expedition across centuries of myth, energy, and movement, a chronicle of the stones that tamed the invisible. Let's begin and see which gem truly commands the wind. Number 10. Celestite. The whisper of the sky. There are gemstones born from the fire of the earth, and there are those born from the breath of the heavens. Few stones embody that celestial balance more perfectly than celestite, a pale blue crystal that seems to have captured the color of wind itself. In 1998, a group of mineralogists exploring the island of Madagascar stumbled upon a limestone cave, glowing faintly in the dark. Inside, the walls glittered with thousands of sky-colored crystals, as if a piece of the firmament had fallen underground. Locals whispered that when storms gathered off the coast, the cave would hum. No instruments, no breeze, just a resonance in the stone, a vibration said to echo the wind before it arrived. That's celestite, a mineral so gentle, yet so mysterious, that even scientists admit its structure sings. It's found primarily in Madagascar, Sicily, and parts of Ohio, USA, often in geodes hidden inside layers of sedimentary rock. Extraction is delicate work. Miners use hand tools rather than explosives, because one wrong vibration can fracture the crystal clusters instantly. They describe the process as freeing frozen sky from stone. The best celestite forms in hollow geodes, their interiors lined with elongated crystals, pointing inward, like frozen waves mid-motion. Each piece is translucent sky blue, sometimes fading to silver or white at the edges, and under sunlight, the entire cluster shimmer with a spectral halo, an illusion caused by its natural cleavage, planes reflecting light in different directions. Market-wise, collectors value celestite not by carat, but by form. A palm-sized geode can range from $50 to $200, while museum-grade cluster from Madagascar can reach $2,000 or more, depending on saturation and symmetry. But its worth, for centuries, has never been just aesthetic. Ancient sailors from the Mediterranean carried shards of celestite to appease Aeolus, the god of the wind. They believed the crystal could calm the sky and guide favorable breezes. In modern metaphysical practice, celestite is said to resonate with atmospheric pressure changes, amplifying subtle vibrations and translating them into a sense of serenity, as though the stone breathes in rhythm with the wind. When held during meditation, some say you can almost feel the air flow change, not because the stone moves it, but because it tunes your perception to the invisible currents around you. That's the paradox of celestite. It doesn't command the wind, it teaches you how to hear it. Perhaps that's what makes it a true wind stone, not one of power, but of listening. If this stone's story surprises you, a gem that hums with the voice of air, leave a comment below. Do you think the wind can ever truly be tamed or only understood? And as we continue the top 10 stones that control the wind, share this video across gemstone communities on Facebook or Reddit and ask, in 2026, could a crystal made of silence and sky ever surpass diamond, not in value, but in meaning? Because sometimes, the strongest force in nature isn't the storm, it's the whisper that precedes it. Number 9. Blue kyanite, the blade that commands the wind. Some stones rest quietly beneath the earth, and some stones cut through silence itself. Among the latter, none is as striking or enigmatic as blue kyanite, a crystal so sharp, so perfectly aligned, that ancient mountain shamans once called it the blade of air. In 1933, high in the Himalayas, a British expedition searching for rare sapphires discovered a deposit of slender blue crystals embedded in quartz veins. Locals refused to touch them. They said these were sky knives, fragments of wind solidified by the gods to slice through storms. When the explorers struck a vein with their pickaxe, the sound didn't echo like stone. It rang, clear and metallic, like glass shattering in water. That was the first recorded discovery of Himalayan kyanite, and it changed how mineralogists understood the geometry of Earth's hidden winds. Geologically, blue kyanite forms deep inside metamorphic rocks, under immense pressure and temperature, where aluminum silicate molecules crystallize into long parallel blades. Its structure is so anisotropic that it can split light, sound, and energy along one direction more efficiently than any other known gem. This is why, even to this day, miners describe it as stone that guides air, because its very lattice mirrors the flow of wind. Linear, unstoppable, precise. Major sources today include Nepal, Brazil, Kenya, and Myanmar. Mining kyanite is delicate. The crystals are brittle, breaking easily along their natural lines. Workers often extract them by hand, using chisels and brushes, freeing the crystals from mica and schist, a process more akin to archaeology than mining. Each intact blade, some over 10 centimeters long, can take hours to recover intact. When polished, blue kyanite reveals hues ranging from ice blue and silver gray to deep cobalt and indigo. Its surface shimmers with a subtle, metallic sheen known as chatoyancy, and when cut into spear-like cabochons or elongated pendants, it seems to channel light along its spine, as though directing an invisible current. On the modern market, fine-quality blue kyanite from Nepal can range from $80 to $400 per carat, with top museum-grade blades fetching over $1,000 for their intense color and perfect form. But what fascinates collectors isn't its value, it's its temperament. In legend, Himalayan monks believed blue kyanite could calm the mountain winds, not by suppressing them, but by synchronizing with their rhythm. When hung at temple entrances, the crystals supposedly sang when storms approached, warning of changes in air pressure. Even today, some hikers in Nepal carry shards of kyanite as compasses of the sky, aligning them with gusts to read wind direction. Spiritually, kyanite is said to realign energy fields, cutting through confusion the way wind clears mist. It requires no cleansing. It never absorbs negativity, mirroring the purity of air itself. Perhaps that's why, in every culture that's touched by it, kyanite represents mastery, not over others, but over chaos. If this story of the sky's own blade surprises you, leave a comment below. Do you believe wind can be controlled, or only understood by those who listen deeply enough? And as we continue our top 10 stones that command the wind, share this story in gemstone communities on Facebook or Reddit, and ask your fellow collectors, in 2026, could a crystal born from the heart of the mountains, forged in stillness, yet shaped like the wind, rise beyond diamond, not in price, but in power? Because blue kyanite doesn't resist the storm. It becomes it, silent, swift, and perfectly aligned with the breath of the earth. Number 8. Sodalite. The voice of the sky. Some stones are shaped by pressure, others by silence. But sodalite was born from vibration, from the ancient pulse of the earth echoing into the air. For centuries, mystics believed it was not just a stone of the sky, but the voice of it, a gem that taught humankind to listen to the language of wind. In 1811, explorers mapping the cold wilderness of Greenland uncovered a cliff face that shimmered under the polar light, blue, white, and alive. The Inuit guides warned them not to hammer too hard. This stone, they said, belongs to the wind. Break it, and the sky will turn. Later, geologists confirmed it was sodalite, a rare mineral born from volcanic activity, cooled by air currents moving across ancient magma fields. The same winds that shaped the glaciers, it seemed, had also shaped this crystal. Today, major deposits of sodalite are found in Brazil, Namibia, Greenland, and Canada, especially near Bancroft, Ontario, where miners call it Princess Blue. Extraction happens along igneous cliffs, where veins of sodalite run like rivers of frozen sky through white feldspar. The stone fractures easily, so workers use diamond-tipped saws and compressed air tools, carefully separating it layer by layer. A single large, intact piece can take days to free from the rock without shattering. When polished, sodalite reveals its signature pattern, deep royal blue, laced with milky white veins, often in swirling formations, resembling wind moving through clouds. Some rare varieties show hints of violet or gray. It's usually cut into cabochons, spheres, or obelisks, emphasizing the contrast between blue depth and white motion, a harmony of stillness and flow. In the gem market, quality sodalite sells for $10 to $80 per carat, though ornamental carvings and large slabs for spiritual spaces can exceed $1,000, depending on the intensity of color and pattern. Yet collectors don't seek it for price. They seek it for resonance. In legend, sodalite was sacred to Aeolus, the Greek god of wind, and Hermes, the messenger. Ancient oracles kept it near their lips during ceremonies, believing it could translate the whisper of the wind into prophecy. Modern crystal workers still associate it with the throat chakra, claiming it clears the mind, steadies the breath, and opens the voice, allowing words to flow like air itself. Symbolically, sodalite doesn't control the wind. It teaches you how to speak with it. It embodies communication and harmony, not dominance, but dialogue. To hold sodalite is to feel the rhythm of speech and breeze intertwine. Every breath a conversation between body and sky. If this story of a stone that speaks through silence surprises you, leave a comment below. Do you believe the wind can carry our thoughts? Or are we just learning to hear what it's been saying all along? And as we continue this journey through the top 10 stones that command the wind, share this video in gemstone groups on Facebook or Reddit, and ask your fellow collectors, in 2026, could a humble blue stone, once mistaken for lapis, now revered as the voice of air, rise beyond diamond, not in brilliance, but in the way it teaches the world to listen? Because Sodalite reminds us, the truest control over wind is not power, it's understanding. Number 7. Aquamarine, the wind of the sea. There are stones that capture the fire of the earth, and there are those that hold the whisper of the ocean. Among all marine-born crystals, none carries the breath of wind more gracefully than aquamarine, a gem once believed to be formed from the tears of the sea gods themselves. To the ancients, it was not simply a jewel, it was the wind of the waves, frozen in crystal form. In 1953, a deep-sea excavation off the coast of Eritrea revealed a Roman shipwreck carrying amphorae, bronze statues, and a small wooden chest filled with sky-blue gemstones. The inscription read, "To calm the storm, to speak to the wind." Those stones, later confirmed as aquamarine, became the first archaeological proof that sailors truly believed this gem could command the air and sea alike. Geologically, aquamarine is a member of the beryl family, a cousin of emerald, but born in cooler pockets of granite, where iron lends it that unmistakable blue-green hue, like sunlight filtered through deep water. Major deposits are found in Brazil, Madagascar, Pakistan, Nigeria, and Russia's Ural Mountains, though some of the finest sea blue varieties still come from the coastal cliffs of Mozambique. Extraction requires precision. Unlike other gems mined from hard rock, aquamarine forms in vertical pegmatite veins, often deep inside mountain slopes. Miners use drills and hydraulic tools to cut narrow corridors, releasing the crystals intact from their natural cradles in quartz. Each one can take decades to form, growing slowly as vapor and mineral-rich air circulate, a geological echo of breath itself. In raw form, aquamarine crystals are hexagonal prisms, long and clear, with shades ranging from pale ice blue to deep ocean teal. When polished into emerald cuts or elongated cabochons, the gem reflects light as though air is flowing through water, a shimmer both calm and alive. On the international market, fine aquamarine can range from $200 to $2,000 per carat, depending on clarity and saturation. The legendary Dom Pedro specimen, the largest faceted aquamarine ever cut, weighs over 10,000 carats and is valued in the millions. But beyond price, its power lies in its movement. For centuries, mariners and mystics believed aquamarine could summon wind or calm it, depending on the heart of the one who held it. They would toss the stone into the surf before setting sail, whispering their destination, trusting the breeze to obey. Even today, energy practitioners call it the breath balancer, a stone that synchronizes the rhythm of inhalation and exhalation, bringing the body into harmony with the tides. Perhaps that's why aquamarine represents peace through motion, the idea that true stillness isn't silence, but flow. The gem doesn't fight the wind, it becomes it, guiding it like a wave guides air across the sea. If this story of a gem that sails between wind and water surprises you, leave a comment below. Do you think nature's forces can ever be commanded, or only befriended by those who learn to listen? And as we continue our voyage through the top 10 stones that control the wind, share this episode across gemstone communities on Facebook or Reddit and ask them, in 2026, could a gem born of sea and sky, the wind made liquid, rise beyond diamond, not in luxury, but in freedom? Because aquamarine reminds us, the calmest seas are never windless. They're simply in tune with the air that moves them. Number 6. Petersite, the storm stone that commands the sky. There are gemstones that soothe the soul, and others that awaken it. Petersite belongs to the latter, a crystal so alive, so turbulent in its depths, that geologists once described it as a storm trapped in stone. To the ancient desert tribes of Namibia, Petersite was no ordinary gem. They called it the key of the wind gods, believing it could summon or silence the desert storms that defined their lives. In 1962, a South African farmer named Sid Peters unearthed an unusual rock near Outjo, Namibia. Under the harsh noon sun, its surface swirled with flashes of blue, gold, and bronze, like lightning frozen mid-strike. When cracked open, the stone's interior looked like a hurricane viewed from above. Local elders warned that mining too much of it would anger the wind, for they believed the gem was born where air and fire collided beneath the earth. Petersite forms from fibrous aggregates of tiger's eye and hawk's eye, twisted and folded under immense geological stress. These chaotic fibers refract light in a mesmerizing pattern known as chatoyancy, a shifting storm of color that seems to move even when the stone is still. It is mined today primarily in Namibia and China's Hunan province, both sites notorious for extreme weather, a coincidence that miners themselves still whisper about. The extraction process is treacherous. Petersite veins lie deep within metamorphic rock, and the fibrous layers fracture easily under vibration. Miners must chip carefully along the natural striations, using air tools rather than explosives, ironically, harnessing compressed wind to free the stone said to command it. Each piece must then be stabilized with resin to preserve the storm-like patterns. In appearance, Petersite is unlike any other gem on Earth. Its base color ranges from midnight blue to golden brown, crossed by veins of copper, silver, and crimson that swirl like wind over sand. When polished into oval cabochons or free-form pendants, the surface shimmers as though clouds are moving beneath it, a visual illusion that seems almost alive. Market-wise, Petersite remains rare and highly collectible. Namibian specimens, known for their electric blue lightning streaks, can fetch $100 to $400 per carat, while the fiery golden varieties from China reach similar prices depending on pattern intensity. But beyond its value, the stone's legend persists. According to African folklore, Petersite channels the wind of transformation. Shamans used it in rituals to control weather, cleanse negative energy, and awaken courage in the face of chaos. Modern crystal healers believe it stimulates the solar plexus and third eye chakras, aligning willpower with intuition, the balance between storm and stillness. Perhaps Petersite doesn't control the wind as much as it mirrors it, wild, unpredictable, yet purposeful. In its shifting colors, we see nature's eternal truth. Even storms have rhythm. If this stone's story caught you off guard, a gem that captures the sky's fury and calm in the same breath, leave a comment below. Do you think humanity can ever truly harness nature's tempests, or only learn to dance within them? And as our countdown through the top 10 stones that control the wind continues, share this video across gemstone communities on Facebook or Reddit and ask them, in 2026, could a stone that holds both the storm and the silence surpass diamond, not in wealth, but in wonder? Because Petersite reminds us, real power isn't in stopping the wind, it's in learning to move with it. Number 5. Labradorite, the northern wind mirror. There are gemstones that reflect light, and there are those that contain the sky itself. Few stones have stirred as many legends as Labradorite, the gem said to hold the frozen breath of the northern lights. To those who live close to the Arctic Circle, it is not merely a mineral, it is the mirror of the wind, the bridge between storm and stillness. In 1770, a group of Moravian missionaries, exploring the icy coast of Labrador, Canada, noticed strange flashes of blue fire flickering among the dark stones along the shore. When they pried one loose, the entire rock face shimmered, green, blue, violet, as if the night sky had been buried beneath the tundra. The local Inuit told them the truth their instruments could not explain. The northern wind once trapped the aurora borealis inside the earth, and the gods sealed it in these stones until a warrior freed the light with his spear. Since then, Labradorite has been known as the gem that awakens the wind. Geologically, Labradorite is a feldspar mineral that forms in igneous rocks rich in calcium and sodium. Its internal crystal structure splits light into multiple wavelengths, a phenomenon called labradorescence. Under the right angle, this causes a luminous spectrum of color to flash across its surface, mimicking the movement of air and light across the northern sky. Major deposits are found in Canada, Finland, spectrolite, Madagascar, and Norway, though smaller veins appear in Russia's Kola Peninsula. Extraction is done from surface boulders or open-pit quarries. Because labradorite cleaves easily, miners must break away surrounding rock with air drills and pry bars, freeing each slab by hand. When the stone catches light, even deep underground, miners describe it as the wind coming alive in stone. When cut and polished, labradorite reveals swirling patterns of blue, green, gold, and copper, shifting like storm clouds in motion. The best pieces, known as spectrolite, show the full spectrum, from ocean teal to fiery orange, and are shaped into domed cabochons or smooth slabs to capture the illusion of movement. In the modern market, fine labradorite ranges from $50 to $500 per carat, while the rare finished spectrolite can exceed $1,000 per carat for its vivid color play. Yet its allure has little to do with value. It lies in what it evokes. In Norse myth, wind spirits were said to travel through the aurora, whispering to those who listened in silence. Shamans carried labradorite to communicate with those winds, not to command them, but to understand their direction. Even today, energy practitioners call it the stone of shifting skies. It's believed to open the mind to intuition, to help one adapt as quickly and fluidly as the air itself. Perhaps that's why labradorite is seen as the mirror of transformation, a reminder that peace doesn't mean stillness, it means flow. Wind cannot be owned, but it can be read, mirrored, and followed. If this story of light and wind, hidden within stone, surprised you, leave a comment below. Do you think humankind can ever truly control nature, or only reflect it through art, faith, and stone? And as our exploration of the top 10 stones that control the wind continues, share this story across gemstone communities on Facebook or Reddit and ask them, in 2026, could a gem born from frozen wind, carrying the color of the aurora itself, outshine diamond, not in clarity, but in magic? Because labradorite reminds us, even in darkness, the wind still dances, and sometimes it leaves its light behind. Number 4. Angelite, the stone of gentle air. Some gemstones roar like thunder, others whisper like a prayer carried on the wind. Among them, Angelite stands apart, a stone so calm, so weightless in energy, that ancient Andean shamans believed it was a fragment of the sky that forgot to fall. In 1987, high in the dry plateaus of Peru, miners searching for copper veins uncovered a pale blue mineral unlike anything they had seen before. When the first piece was lifted into daylight, the wind around the mine shifted. A sudden stillness, followed by a soft current of air moving uphill. The locals took it as a sign. They said the mountain was exhaling, releasing its long-held breath through the stone. That discovery marked the birth of Angelite in the modern world. But to the native Quechua, it was simply Piedra del Cielo, the stone of heaven. Geologically, Angelite is a calcium sulfate mineral, a compact form of anhydrite, formed when ancient seas evaporated millions of years ago, leaving behind sediments that hardened under pressure. What makes it extraordinary isn't rarity, but vibration. Its atomic structure stores microscopic air pockets, causing light to scatter softly across the surface, giving it that ethereal, sky-like glow. The main deposits are found in Peru, Mexico, and parts of Germany, often inside arid desert cliffs or salt flats. Extraction is mostly manual. Miners use chisels and brushes instead of machines to prevent fractures. Each piece, once freed, is rinsed gently in mineral water to preserve its matte surface, smooth but not reflective, like a cloud you can hold in your hand. Angelite's color ranges from baby blue to powder sky, sometimes with hints of lilac or gray. When carved into oval cabochons or small figurines, it looks like condensed mist, serene, fragile, almost breathing. Under low light, it seems to absorb air rather than reflect it. In the gem market, Angelite is modest in price, $20 to $100 per piece, depending on color uniformity and polish. But its value is not material. Collectors and healers prize it for its connection to air and spirit. According to Andean legend, Angelite can calm the winds by aligning human emotion with the rhythm of the atmosphere. Shamans carried it into rituals to communicate with the wind guardians, believing it turned violent gusts into guiding breezes. In modern energy work, it's said to open the throat and crown chakras, promoting peaceful speech and divine connection, the union of air, thought, and compassion. Perhaps that is why Angelite symbolizes gentle control, not through power, but empathy. It doesn't command the wind, it persuades it. Its energy teaches that the softest tone can still move the air. If this story of a stone that speaks to the wind through kindness surprised you, leave a comment below. Do you believe calmness is weakness, or the highest form of mastery? And as we journey deeper into the top 10 stones that control the wind, share this story in gemstone communities on Facebook or Reddit, and ask, in 2026, could a sky blue stone, gentle enough to quiet storms, surpass diamond, not in hardness, but in harmony? Because Angelite reminds us, the wind doesn't always answer strength. Sometimes it listens to grace. Number 3. Fluorite, the air current of thought. There are stones that glitter to attract the eye, and there are stones that shimmer to awaken the mind. Among the latter, fluorite is perhaps the most mysterious, a gem so clear, so changeable, that ancient scholars called it the captured breath of the intellect. It's not a stone of stillness, but of flow, a crystal whose energy was believed to move like wind between worlds of reason and intuition. In 1928, deep inside a forgotten mine near Derbyshire, England, a team of geologists found walls glowing faintly green in total darkness. When they turned off their lamps, the veins of mineral continued to shine, softly, eerily, as if the air itself had caught light. That mineral was fluorite, and it would soon change how scientists understood both light and energy. The phenomenon of fluorescence, named after this very gem, became proof that certain stones could absorb invisible radiation and release it again, like air vibrating after a whisper. Geologically, fluorite forms in hydrothermal veins, where water and gas rich in calcium and fluorine seep through cracks in the earth. As the vapors cool, they leave behind cubic crystals, often transparent or translucent, and arranged with the geometric precision of air frozen into form. The world's finest fluorite comes from China, Mexico, England, and the Illinois-Kentucky fluorspar district in the U.S. Extraction requires care. The crystals are fragile, breaking with a single shock. Miners use small drills and air compressors to free each cube intact, revealing layers of color that shift from green and violet to blue, yellow, and clear. When polished, fluorite's internal bands appear like moving ribbons, currents of wind captured in mineral form. Some stones even display optical illusions, lines that seem to drift as you tilt the crystal, echoing the movement of thought itself. In the gem market, fluorite is accessible, $30 to $200 per carat, depending on color zoning and clarity. Yet many collectors call it the philosopher's gem. It's prized not for rarity, but for how it reflects the mind. Across cultures, fluorite has long symbolized clarity, focus, and harmony, the air of thought. Celtic seers carved it into wands to channel the breeze during divination, believing it carried messages from the unseen. Chinese scholars kept it near their inkstones, saying its gentle radiation calmed the mind, so thoughts flow like air. Even today, metaphysical practitioners believe fluorite helps quiet mental storms, dispersing chaotic energy the way wind scatters fog. Perhaps that's why fluorite embodies the perfect paradox of air, invisible, yet everywhere. It reminds us that peace of mind is not silence, but balance, the steady current beneath turbulence. If this story of a stone that turns wind into wisdom surprised you, leave a comment below. Do you think the mind can ever truly be still? Or does true clarity come only through movement, like air itself? And as our countdown through the top 10 stones that control the wind continues, share this story in Gemstone communities on Facebook or Reddit, and ask, in 2026, could a crystal born from vapor, both solid and air, surpass diamond, not in strength, but in understanding? Because fluorite reminds us, thought and wind follow the same law. They cannot be held, only guided. Number 2, Tanzanite, the wind between worlds. There are gemstones that belong to the earth, and there are those that seem to come from somewhere beyond it. Tanzanite is one of those miracles, a crystal so rare, so transient, that geologists call it the one-generation gemstone. Formed by heat, born of air, and ignited by lightning, Tanzanite carries the breath of the wind between worlds. In 1967, a Maasai herdsman named Ali Juyawatu was walking near the foothills of Mount Kilimanjaro when he noticed flashes of blue fire glinting among the brown stones. The ground had just been struck by lightning. When he dug closer, he found shards of violet crystal, glowing with the color of twilight. The tribes believed the thunder gods had breathed new wind into the earth that night, crystallizing the storm into stone. That discovery, in a single 7-kilometer strip of land in northern Tanzania, would become one of the most extraordinary gemstone finds in modern history. Tanzanite forms under incredibly rare conditions. When zoisite, aluminum silicate, is compressed by tectonic pressure and heated by metamorphic fluids rich in vanadium. Its color is unique, shifting from blue to violet to burgundy, depending on the angle of light, a property known as pleochroism. It's as if the gem changes moods with every turn, like the wind itself, never still, never predictable. The mining area, known as Miralani Hills, lies at the edge of the Great Rift Valley, a fault zone where the earth constantly breathes, rising and sinking like a sleeping giant. Extraction here is perilous. Miners descend narrow vertical shafts into heat and dust, using air-powered drills to break the rock. Many call it digging through the breath of the earth, because every movement stirs a dry wind that races through the tunnels. When cut, Tanzanite's elongated crystals reveal saturated blues and violet flames, faceted into ovals or trillions that seem to pulse under light. Fine gems above 5 carats with deep color are prized by collectors, fetching $1,000 to $3,000 per carat, while untreated stones with strong trichroic hues can exceed $10,000. But even at that value, its supply is finite, predicted to vanish within this century. Culturally, Tanzanite holds profound meaning. To the Maasai people, it symbolizes new life and divine wind, gifted to newborn children and new mothers to bless their journey. They believe it connects heaven and earth, carrying the breath of ancestors across the Rift Valley. In metaphysical traditions, Tanzanite aligns with the throat and third eye chakras, helping words flow with truth and guiding intuition through clarity, as if one were listening to the air between thoughts. Perhaps Tanzanite represents not the control of wind, but the understanding of its passage, a reminder that all transformation begins with a shift in air. If this story of a gem born from lightning surprised you, leave a comment below. Do you believe storms create chaos or renewal? And as we approach the final chapter of the top 10 stones that control the wind, share this story in Gemstone communities on Facebook or Reddit, and ask your fellow collectors, in 2026, could a stone forged by lightning, carrying the voice of the storm, surpass diamond, not in clarity, but in spirit? Because Tanzanite teaches us, the wind never ends. It only changes form, sometimes into crystal. Number 1. Moldavite, the storm from the stars. There are gemstones born from the earth's slow patience, and there are those born from catastrophe, Among every crystal ever studied, none captures the violence and beauty of creation like Moldavite, a gem forged not in volcanoes, but in the impact of a cosmic storm. To the ancients, it wasn't merely a stone, it was a fragment of heaven, the breath of the universe, solidified in green glass. 29 million years ago, a meteor roughly a kilometer wide tore through the atmosphere above what is now southern Germany. The impact flattened forests, melted rock, and threw molten earth high into the stratosphere. When the vaporized minerals rained back to the surface, the winds carried them hundreds of kilometers east, scattering droplets of green glass across the plains of Bohemia and Moravia, in what is now the Czech Republic. Those droplets cooled mid-air, twisting and rippling like gusts of wind frozen in motion. That was the birth of Moldavite, a stone literally born from flight. Today, Moldavite is found only in that narrow Central European corridor. Mining is heavily restricted to protect what little remains. Most pieces are collected from ancient riverbeds, where wind and rain slowly expose them over thousands of years. Because of its fragility, extraction is done by hand. Diggers sift through sand and clay using small wooden shovels and air-pumped vacuums, harvesting wind, as locals call it. Each discovery feels more like an archaeological unearthing than a mining operation. In its natural form, Moldavite is olive green to forest green, translucent, with a wrinkled aerodynamic surface that looks as though it were sculpted by a hurricane. Each piece bears unique flow lines, ripples of solidified motion. When polished or faceted, the stone glows like bottled lightning. The finest gem-quality specimens, free of cracks and rich in color, can command $500 to over $1,500 per gram, and larger museum pieces fetch tens of thousands. But what fascinates collectors isn't price, it's presence. For centuries, Bohemian mystics believed Moldavite carried the wind of the cosmos. Medieval texts described it as the Grail stone that fell from the sky. Monks and alchemists meditated with it to receive visions, claiming its energy opened a path between Earth's air and heaven's breath. Modern metaphysical circles call it the stone of transformation, said to accelerate spiritual awakening by amplifying frequencies of air, the element of thought, freedom, and motion. Moldavite doesn't simply control the wind, it is wind, a memory of the universe, exhaled through space, condensed into glass, and left behind for us to find. Holding it feels like holding movement itself, chaotic, luminous, alive. If this story of a gem born from starlight surprised you, leave a comment below. Do you believe the universe still breathes through the stones it leaves behind? And as this journey through the top 10 stones that control the wind comes to a close, share this episode in Gemstone communities on Facebook or Reddit, and ask your fellow collectors, in 2026, could a stone forged by the collision of worlds, a gem that carries both wind and fire, surpass diamond, not in brilliance, but in destiny? Because Moldavite reminds us, the wind that shaped the cosmos never truly stopped. It simply changed form, waiting, in a small green stone, for us to listen again. And that brings us to the end of our journey through the top 10 stones that control the wind. A story that spans continents, storms, and even the edge of space itself. From Celestite's whispering sky caves to Moldavite's fiery birth in a cosmic collision, every stone we explored tonight revealed something larger than itself, a reminder that even the strongest forces in nature can be touched if only we learn how to listen. If this video inspired you or made you look at gemstones in a completely new way, your support truly matters. Leave a like. It helps these stories reach others who believe that the earth still hides secrets worth uncovering. And if this is your first time visiting Gemstone Kingdom, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. It's the simplest way to join this journey and help us continue creating documentaries that bridge myth and science. In the next episode, we'll journey into even stranger territory, exploring the top 10 sacred stones believed to hold time itself, from crystals that seem to age backward to minerals once used in ancient calendars. The next chapter may redefine how we see eternity locked inside stone. Thank you for staying until the end. Your presence here keeps this channel alive. Every like, every comment, every shared story fuels the next adventure. Until then, keep your curiosity alive, keep your spirit open, and I'll see you in the next episode of Gemstone Kingdom, where every stone tells a story, and every story holds a secret.